Hiya, Amy here, and today I have an idea for some cards without sentiments. So I'm going to show you the products that I'm going to use. I have two beautiful 3D folders. These are embossing folders from Altenew. I have the Whimsical Bouquet 3D and the Pressed Flowers 3D, and I will link all the products that I used in the video description box below. Here I'm showing you some panels of very lightweight colored cardstock. It's made 5 pounds, very inexpensive, and I did cut it down with these stitched edge rectangle dies from Paper Rose. So they're a little bit smaller than A2 size and will leave a nice white border on my finished card. But I'm just going to spritz them with water to help them really take the shape of the embossing folder and help those fibers kind of bend around it rather than cracking. But this is of course an optional step. Now I'm going to take these embossing folders off screen and run them through my die cutting machine. And you can see this amazing dimension. I love these 3D folders. I can't get enough. So I was asked recently to make a video with cards that didn't have sentiments. So this is my response to that. I was thinking, well, if it's not going to have a sentiment and it's not going to have a blatant focal point, then it's got to at least have, you know, a finished look and a wow factor. So I thought these 3D embossing folders are definitely the answer to this because they're versatile and they definitely have that wow factor. I mean, when you see these in person, the dimension and detail is just incredible. So I thought, well, with the finished edge from the stitched rectangle dies and the dimension from the embossing, then that's going to more than make up for, you know, any other blatant focal point or sentiment on the card. So here I'm going to jazz them up a little bit further. I have some Distress Oxides and I have my blending brushes that are designated for oxides. Now, oxides are a hybrid, meaning that they are partially dye and partially pigment. So I chose these because I wanted them to not sink into the colored cardstock, but rather sit on top and kind of accent the design. So I'm using these brushes that I have designated for it because it does kind of, you know, gunk up the brushes a little bit differently than the dye inks would. So I have the pink ones and the purple ones out for these, you know, pink panels that I made, and I'm starting off with Worn Lipstick, and then for the darker color on this one I have the Picked Raspberry. So then on the next pink one, I'm going to use the Picked Raspberry and then the Seedless Preserve, just because it's a little bit darker cardstock. So I'm kind of sharing the one middle pink color on this, but having a lighter color and a darker color accordingly. So I'm kind of just gently brushing it over. I'm not going too heavy-handed. I'm going a little bit more firm in spots, obviously, where I want to apply more ink. But really, it's not hard to do this, and it's so heightened because of the dimension that it's really easy to just kind of blend, and it makes it just pop off the paper even more so. So on this one I have Salvaged Patina and Evergreen Bough. It's really kind of like a seafoamy green mint color cardstock, so I thought these, you know, tealy greenish kind of colors would look nice as accents on this one. So I'm doing the same thing, kind of just going over in various different spots, not covering the entire thing, but, you know, accenting certain flowers or certain edges of the flowers. And then on this last one I have Blueprint Sketch and Mermaid Lagoon. So I have my teal brush here and then my blue brush. I have them kind of designated for color families here, and just again working over the image pretty light-handed, and then adding some darker color in spots just to give it more interest and help it really pop off the page. But the dimension on this from this embossing folder really pops off the page anyway. So here I have 4 A2 size card bases already made. This is 110-pound cardstock, Nina Classic Crest Solar White, and I'm just going to attach that right to the card base, and you can see it has that nice white border around the edge of it. And I do that with all 4 panels, and then I decide I kind of want to do this white iridescent type blingage to kind of tie in the white border around, you know, the card and give it a little something else. So I use some liquid glue and lay down some sequins. I have larger and smaller in odd numbers. I ended up doing 5 on each card in various different spots. But I did that, and all over the 4 cards, I decided to add a couple more here just to kind of finish it off. Put the big one there and another small one in the lower right, and I felt that that finished it. So here are the 4 finished cards. Very simple. You could always come back and add a sentiment strip later. You could have these kind of, on reserve and then turn them into whatever specific type of card you need. So you have it on hand, or you could just leave it as a blank note card and send it that way. So lots of possibilities here, but these embossing folders are enough. They give you a beautiful card without a lot of effort. And you add a little bit of ink blending and some blingage and you're good to go. So I hope you enjoyed this today. If you did, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. If you're interested in any of the products that I used, I will link them in the video description box below. Just expand and scroll down for those details. Here's a finished picture of the 4 cards together. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.